Lenawee. Lenawee County.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
All right, as it's now 1:30, I'll go ahead and commence our meeting. For those of you who may not have met me or it's been a while, I'm Ambrose Rivers. I'm the Barrier Busters program aide. I wanted to open the floor to any agency announcements or program updates, especially around holiday programs. All right, hearing none and seeing none, I'll go ahead and start with our agency announcements. We do have a couple of upcoming job postings for financial counselors for our new Financial Empowerment Center. The financial counselors will provide individualized counseling with interested families and create a financial action plan, which can include budgeting, credit building, accessing banking, credit issues, and basic needs issues. These two positions are going to be full-time with benefits starting at around $48K with potentially more with additional experience.
Sorry, I'm trying to reconnect my.
So preferred candidates from this position will be bilingual, English and Spanish. We want folks who are familiar with community resources and have experience with coaching, training, or other financial assistance. And I'll go ahead and post details of that in the chat.
I can't hear anything.
Please feel free to share this widely, especially to those who may not be traditionally able to apply, including those without degrees. Does anyone have any other program or agency updates they'd like to share? All right, hearing none and seeing none, I'd like to welcome Andrea Malloy to give an energy assistance overview. We are so happy to have you. You can go ahead and start whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to try to see if I can share my screen. Okay. So can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so I'm just going to give an overview of the Salvation Army Energy Assistance Program. So the services that we provide, we're providing energy assistance bill payments right now for heat and electric bills.
That material was itching me, so I took them off and now this just hurts.
Payments for past due or shut off notices or disconnected clients, or for customers who have an old balance that need to be paid to establish new services. So we also are offering our monthly affordable payment plans that will be with DTE and Consumers Energy. They give customers a affordable monthly amount. And then customers with the 20% to 150% federal poverty level, they must be SER eligible. And then customers with a little bit over the income guideline that per se do not meet that SER eligibility for like 151% federal poverty level to like 400% federal poverty level. We do have some funding and possibly affordable payment plan that will be able to help those customers with too as well. So If they do not have an SER, we don't just turn them away. We kind of look at other options for those customers. We use a holistic approach. So during our interviews with the customers, we go over energy saving tips with them. We do a household budget review. We provide like a financial assessment with them too as well. We have some in-house services like our long-term and short-term case management program. And then we refer customers for additional services that we're unable to assist them with. Some other things that we're able to assist them with, we have emergency food program, and then we have limited funds for water and rent. So eligibility. So for one, to be able to qualify for assistance, they have to apply first at Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, for a SER. If they're approved for the SER, then they will qualify for the Michigan Energy Assistance Program, known as the MEAP program, for bill payments or affordable payment plan. So then if they're not approved for a SER, we do have some limited gift funds that we may be able to help the customer with, and also affordable payment plan for DTE and Consumers Energy. So again, we do not just say, no, we cannot help you. Since you were denied an SER, we still look at other options for those customers. So how can they apply to the Salvation Army? We have an online application. That's the website that they can apply. They will have to agree to the terms and conditions by selecting continue. They will complete all the necessary and required fields. And then at the end, they are emailed a verification. They have to complete all of the fields or they will not be able to continue, and they also have to receive the email verification. So sometimes we get calls stating that, they completed an application, but then when we're asking them questions, they say that they didn't get an email verification, or it wouldn't let them bypass and go because they were missing some of the fields. So some of those are some requirements that they have to make sure they complete all the required fields in order to move forward in the application process. They can also print the application, or we can mail them an application and then they can complete it and email it back to us at this email address. Or they can contact their local Salvation Army in the Ann Arbor core area. That's the address and the phone number, and they can schedule an in-person appointment. So it can be in person or it can be over the phone with one of our case managers. And so this is our contact information. So for agencies and staff only, we have our Energy Assistance Director, Angela Sterner, her phone number. And then I'm the regional manager. This is my phone number and email address where I can be reached for questions. Now for customers, they can contact their local Salvation Army, or they can send us an email for questions, or if they want to send us their application. Do anybody have any questions for me?
I have a question. When you mentioned, I think you mentioned case management for in-house services, is that just relating to the energy assistance program, or is that just general for other stuff too?
It's for other stuff. So we have it's called Pathway of Hope. It's our short or long-term case management. So our case managers work alongside with customers. So it's 6 months to 12 months. It's an approach that we use to break the cycle and help customers become more self-sufficient.
And is that the same, or how would they, if they just want case management, how would they get in contact with you? Is it the same way?
Yeah, well, they can contact their local Salvation Army. Yeah, it's called Pathway of Hope.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. And I have a flyer and a brochure for Pathway of Hope. I'll get that emailed over to Mrs. Rivers so she can get it out to everyone.
I did see someone's hand up. Do we have any more questions?
I'll get also the PowerPoint presentation too. I did provide it to Ms. Rivers, but I think she'll be able to send that out to everyone so they can have that information.
I do have a quick question, Andrea. What's your assistance limits? Like,
Well,
how
we
much
have-
assistance could someone receive?
So the MEEP cap is 2,500. That's for all the MEEP agencies. So us, Wayne Metro, Thaw, if they're using the MEEP funds, but then we also can kind of go over the cap and ask the state for an exception, and that is up to 3,500. So, you know, sometimes we do see people with larger bills. We still work to see, you know, how we can, you know, get those co-pays paid, you know, so we don't just turn people away. We look at other options for them too as well. But the MEEP cap in general is 2,500.
So I do see a question from Martha. She asked what's available for those who don't have internet access.
Then they can reach out to their local Salvation Army. We do have other options. They can either go meet with the case manager in person, or we do provide over the phone appointments too as well.
Okay, did we have any other questions for Andrea while we have her? All right, hearing none and seeing none, thank you so much. You have a great day, Andrea.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You too. Bye-bye.
All right, well, having heard that great presentation about Salvation Army resources, I wanted to open the floor to any case consultations or any questions you have for Barrier Busters. We're always willing to add our funding to Salvation Army's funding. We had received some questions about higher bills lately, and we're hoping that that helped answer some of your questions about how we can get those needs met. Did anyone have any questions or concerns about utilities this season?
So I have a quick question, just whether or not, who should we go to first? Should we go to Barrier Busters? Should we go to Salvation Army? I mean, always DHHS to apply. What would be, you know, like a order or system for us to follow?
So it really depends on what stage they are in shut off, and whether or not they have documentation. If it's someone who is documented, we do ask that you go to state emergency relief first. The next step I would say would be Salvation Army. We're able to provide funding for clients, but if we can get matching funding, that's always better. Then we're able to serve more people in our county. So I would advise SIR, then Salvation Army, and then Barrier Busters. The other thing about getting a MEEP plan is it provides a longer time period of assistance for those families and can provide more sustainability long-term. Barrier Busters is a one-time assist program. So if the family can get MEEP, we definitely want to get them access to that.
Thank you.
All right, did we have any other questions or cases we wanted to ask about?
Hi, Ambrose. In case that they don't have document here in the United States, what is the steps to follow the process?
So that's a great question. If they're not documented, just apply for Barrier Busters funding. They're not going to be eligible for these other resources, but we can spend county funding on those clients. I would say the same thing for those who might have their DTE bill in a relative's name. They may not be able to get state emergency relief, but if the service address and the residence address are the same, we can still pay for those accounts.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, did we have any other questions or concerns before we move on to our funding update?
If a client received assistance with utilities in the past, say from Barrier Busters in 2021, and then in 2022, they end up in a situation where they are in need of help again, are they able to make a new application, or would that still be considered they've used their one-time payment and we need to look for help elsewhere?
No, so our limit is per calendar year. So if they received assistance in 2021, they're eligible this year for assistance.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Marley.
My question is related to when you were talking about the one-time assistance, say that they have a DTE bill and then they have a phone bill. So is it that you only assist with one item of their needs, or you can assist with multiple items of their needs?
We can assist with multiple items. What I'll say about that is our soft cap per request is $2,000, but we can't award more than $3,000 in assistance to any one household in a calendar year.
Okay.
All right. If there aren't any other questions or concerns, I can go ahead and move on to our funding update.
Hey, Ambrose.
Yeah.
We have Sharon in the comments asking if we can get more information on Pathway to Hope, about the Pathway to Hope program.
I do not have any information about that program, but I will definitely follow up with you, Sharon. Thank you for pointing that out, Stacey. All right, so as of today, we have a little over 90,000 in general funds. So this is just what we have right now. We will be receiving our regular allocation on January 1st, so that number will go up. Right now we have 17,000 in Pittsfield Township funds. So those are folks in the jurisdiction of Pittsfield Township, and we'll be using our geocoding to verify that. And we also have rolling funds for Ann Arbor water assistance. If you do have a client that needs water assistance, go ahead and email me with their address. They may qualify for the low income water assistance program. And we'd like to use those funds first before we use Barrier Busters funding. So if you have a question about water, just reach out to me. Do we have any questions about funding? All right, hearing none and seeing none, we can go ahead and adjourn. You guys have a great holiday season.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
One question for you, Ambrose. Is the recorded meetings available?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be uploading this recording onto our YouTube channel today.
All right, thank you.
When will the next meeting be? So the next meeting is going to be on the 4th Wednesday of January. I can check on the date. Okay, so that 4th Wednesday is going to be January 25th.